Yo, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are out here with the boy J-Rod. Decided to join us today, and we're gonna be hitting the jetties, as y'all can see. A real impromptu trip. I don't know how this video is gonna turn out. I've only got like 2 batteries left, so I'm really gonna be like cutting it close. I don't know if we'll get any hook sets, but no live shrimp this morning. Checked all the bait shops, everybody's out. Real busy Saturday morning, so we're just gonna come out here and throw some spoons. Heard good things about Spanish mackerel moving in with this cold front here recently in Galveston. Figure, you know what? I don't know about Galveston, but I know the jetties pretty well. Come on out and give it a good shot. So let's hope we get on something nice. Stay tuned. All right, boys, well, quick 4 hours later, and that did not go as planned. Yeah, I really was hoping, man. We had the new moon, or the full moon, with a lot of water movement. I was really expecting to get on some fish, but it's just a real slow day here at the jetty. I think I saw one guy, probably feels like a stud, brought in a Spanish mackerel off a spoon, and that's all up and down the jetties. So, real tough day. You can grind it out, but I'm here with a buddy, and he's got to go here soon, so I'm not really sure. I think I might go home and probably head back out to the dike or something, wade fish a little bit. I really would like to get a catch for this video, but kind of new getting into this whole bank fishing, wade fishing game. It can be a little bit tougher. So we're just gonna try and keep at it. And I don't know, I'll catch up with y'all when we get back to the house and figure out where we're gonna go fish. All right, boys, so on the way home, I was taking a look at the tide chart, and it doesn't look like we're gonna have our next like tide movement, minor little feeding period until about 6 o'clock tonight. I was thinking about it. I need to get a video out today. If I go out fishing tonight, I don't get back till 8, I'm gonna be uploading a video for y'all like 11. That's just gonna be way too late. And I've been sitting on something. I've been saving something. We mentioned it in the last video. I was waiting for a special day, and today was especially cruddy at the jetty. We didn't have a great time. So you know what, I could use this. We're gonna go ahead and I stopped here at the local HEB. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna get the ingredients I need to make my redfish ravioli. We're gonna be using either a trout or a flounder this time around, but the recipe calls for redfish. We're improvising. I need it. I need this food to help my soul, and also I want to share it with y'all. It was a pretty good recipe, so I'm gonna go in, run and grab the stuff, and we'll meet you back at the kitchen. Alrighty, boys, welcome to the kitchen. Now, I was walking through HEB, and it got me to thinking, you know, I've already made redfish ravioli. It's kind of its own thing, and it has a nice ring to it, redfish ravioli. You can't really just throw a trout in there and make a trout ravioli, and you know, I feel the same way about it. It's not the same. And that's when it dawned on me. There already exists the perfect Italian stuffed pasta that would be amazing with trout in it. And that's what led me to the creation of trout tortellini. To start the recipe off, we're gonna go ahead and make our homemade pasta dough. Now, this part is something you really can't skimp out on. I don't know if there's any options as far as pre-made tortellini that you can roll up yourself, but there's definitely no pre-made trout tortellini out there. In my head, this is truly one-of-a-kind recipe that you're just not gonna be able to find unless you go through the pain and make it yourself. So we gotta make the dough. For the pasta dough, this stuff is super easy. All we're gonna do is take 2 eggs and an additional yolk. You can set that extra egg white on the side in a bowl, and we'll use it to make our filling later. But with your eggs, you wanna whisk those up and then add as much flour as you possibly can. As far as the flour goes, a lot of people said a lot of different stuff when I was researching this on the internet, but I guess, you know, any flour really goes. I use 00 flour because I know it's kind of an Italian thing, but all-purpose, wheat, whatever you got, just use it. You know, it seems to be general consensus that any flour will work. And as far as measurements go, I didn't really measure this out. I think it was maybe about 1.25 cups of flour put into this. And I just really kind of focused on the dough itself, feeling it and making sure that, you know, it wasn't too dry. And I just wanted to work as much flour as I possibly could into it. So even throughout the kneading process, I was adding a little bit more flour here and there and just really getting it nice and I guess saturated with flour. I don't know, maybe that's not the right term, but yeah. After kneading for about 5 minutes, it turned out to look like this, and you really want to let it rest at this point. So just
pop it under a damp towel or in a bowl with a lid on it, let it sit for about 35 to 45 minutes. Now while our dough is resting, it's the perfect time to start working on the filling for our tortellini. And obviously this filling is going to call for trout, so I went ahead and got my fillets and seasoned those guys with a little bit of salt, MSG, pepper, and garlic powder. I went ahead and just threw these all in a bowl and kind of mixed it up to make a seasoning mix, and then sprinkled a little bit on each side of the fillet. You don't want to go too crazy here with the seasoning. You got to remember there's some cheeses that are going to be going into the filling, and those have a little bit of their own natural salinity, I guess, their own salt in them. And so, you know, if you go overboard with the seasoning here on the trout, it's going to throw off the end product, and you don't want that. So go ahead, put some butter in a pan, and then fry these guys up about 2 minutes on each side. They don't really need to be cooked all the way through. You got to remember that the trout is going to be going into the pasta that's going to be boiled and then finished off in a nice warm sauce, so there's plenty of room for it to continue cooking. You don't have to go crazy and make sure this thing is like well done. After the fillets were finished, I went ahead and put them on a plate and then stuck them in the fridge to start cooling down. I didn't want to work with this stuff when it's super hot, just because A, it'll burn your fingers, but B, when you start throwing it into your mix for the filling, it's gonna maybe melt the cheese, and I just didn't want to deal with that, so put it in the fridge. It's gonna help a lot. After letting the trout chill inside of the fridge for about 5 minutes, I took it out and started to break it down into medium-sized chunks. Now, your chunks, it's really up to you what you do with this. One of the big critiques on my redfish ravioli recipe from the family was that they didn't taste the fish itself, so I wanted to make sure the chunks were left a little bit bigger. You gotta know that when you're folding the trout into the mixture itself, it's gonna break down a little bit, so leave them kind of bigger with the intention of it breaking up while you're doing all of your mixing. Now that we've got everything ready, let's go ahead and put our ingredients in the bowl and get to mixing. I got my bowl with the egg white left over from our pasta dough, and to that I'm adding 100 grams of trout, 100 grams of ricotta cheese, and then 50 grams each of Parmesan and mozzarella, fresh mozzarella. That's just the general ratio. Depending on how much trout you have, you just want to do 1 part trout, 1 part ricotta, and then half a part each of the Parmesan and mozzarella. It's a pretty simple one, and it turned out a nice little ratio. Again, I said, you know, one of the big critiques was you couldn't taste the fish, so I wanted to tweak it a little bit and make sure the fish had a little bit of a voice in the recipe. Now that everything's coming together nicely in our bowl, I like to take a bit of fresh chopped basil and sprinkle that in. I really love the taste of basil. It's just like a savory mint in my head, and I put that stuff in all my Italian dishes. It's my favorite. If you don't like the basil, leave it out. I know a big thing a lot of Italians do is putting some fresh ground nutmeg inside of their ravioli and like other pasta fillings. Me, I'm not a big fan, but this is the beauty of things. When you make it yourself, you decide. So put whatever you want in it, experiment, have fun with it. Now, if you don't want to have fun and you just want to try this recipe, what we're going to do next is spend 5 hours rolling out our homemade tortellini. This next part is seriously no joke, man. It is not for the weak of heart. Ravioli in my recipe, you know, I took the lazy route on that one, and I thought, you know, the bigger of a ravioli you make, the less you have to roll, so let's just make some big ones and call it a day. With this tortellini, I thought, you know what, let's have some self-respect. Let's make something you can be proud of and, you know, take the extra time. So that's what we did, and I made these tiny little tortellinis that looked perfect, just like you would get from the store or a restaurant. And man, oh man, did it take a ton of work. And look, rolling out each individual one, it's definitely a tedious job, but well worth it in the end. I think in the end I rolled out about 40 or 50 tortellini. It took me about 2.5 hours, and I only used 15 of those for my serving. I was the only one eating on this night. Everyone was out busy doing their own thing, so I got to enjoy this all to myself. The cool thing about the tortellini is that with your filling, if you have any left over, put some cling wrap on it, stick it in the fridge, and you can make some more the next day. I'm probably going to be making some tonight after I make some new fresh pasta dough. The other cool thing is any tortellini you don't want to cook right now, you can throw them in a bag, stick them in the freezer, and they'll stay fresh a little bit longer. Now that I had my beautiful little tortellinis, I went ahead and whipped up a quick Alfredo sauce. I didn't show me making this sauce in the video. I just don't think it's really that important. Honestly, the sauce is just a little bit of a vessel to serve the pasta. The pasta really is the show itself, so whether you want to get some rows from the supermarket or you want to home make your own sauce, it's up to you. What's really important is that you spent the time to roll these tortellini yourself. That's hard enough. If you don't want to home make a sauce at this time, nobody would blame you. I just threw together a very simple Alfredo. After letting those tortellini boil for about 3 minutes, I took them out and set them inside of my nice warm Alfredo pasta and kind of moved them around just to let that starchy water kind of permeate into the sauce, thicken it a little bit, and then I was ready to serve. Into a bowl with a little fresh chopped basil garnish, and the dish was ready. After spending hours rolling out each little tortellini, I knew the amount of work that went into this, and I was just super proud of my little dish. And you know, it felt really cool because I don't think there's a lot of people out there making trout tortellini. Now, whether that's because they don't think it sounds good or maybe they don't want to put in the work, I don't know. I felt like I was a part of a cool little club of people that have gotten to taste this in the world. It's not a very popular thing, and you know, getting to taste it is awesome. If you guys go ahead and make this dish yourself, you'll be a part of that little club, and let me know what you think. I really enjoyed it. If you tweak it at all, you know, let me know. It would be something that I honestly think would be cool to see. So if you do make this, take some pictures, go share it on our Facebook group. That will be linked in the description. I'm really trying to grow that thing and just interact with you guys more. I didn't actually get a video of me eating this. I was really wore out. I looked like a freaking crackhead in the kitchen after about 5 hours of cooking. You know, I was just wore out. I didn't even want to talk to the camera. I just sat back and I ate every single bit of this pasta. It was so good, guys. You know, I know everyone says that, like, oh man, it was so good, you know, but seriously, it was delicious. I'm not boosting on that. Again, if you make it, just share it with me and let me know what you think. Now, I haven't done a cook in a while, and it's very hard for me when I'm in the kitchen. You know, I'm focused on what I'm doing. My goal is to make the best dish possible, and I really want to focus and give all of my attention to that dish while I'm creating it. That makes it hard to do commentary and stuff, so I hope this voiceover got it done for y'all. Hope you enjoyed the video, man, and if you did, please I would enjoy it. I would love it. Thank you, and also I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace.